Keep watching Ijiro's Media TV. If IT's not Ijiro's Media TV, don't watch. Oh, I love Ijiro's Media TV. It's edifying, refreshing, and spirit-filled.
Hello, my name is Apostle Nelson, and I'm going to talk about how I became a false prophet. I went onto the internet. I started searching for dark sites, and at that time, because I was coming from Malawi, I was just coming from Malawi. So when I was coming from Malawi, I actually met a guy. His name was Botolo. He called himself Boto. So now when I met that man, I was shocked with whatever he did. So in my mind, I had this age in me where I wanted to use whatever he was using in church, but there was a bit of a misunderstanding between me and him. So I didn't actually get the spirit from him, because this man was able to tell me my names, everything, just like we see it in church. And this was more like a wow unto me. When I saw it, I saw how the man was operating. I said, wow, this is, I think, something that I need. So now when there was a problem between me and him, I went my way actually, and from that time I went through the internet. The internet has got a lot of things. There are a lot of rituals on the internet. There are a lot of anything that you need. So now I went through on the internet. I started searching on the internet. Then I came across a man by the name of Damien. His name is Damien, the founder of the Church of Satan in Colombia. So now, as I met this man, we went into a conversation, me and him. We went into a conversation. After going into a conversation, the man started introducing me into what he called Luciferianism. So this is something that is, highly practiced by the people from Spain. The Spanish guys, they practice a lot of Luciferianism. And according to him, he was saying he has never had a student from Africa. So I was the only student from Africa who was learning Luciferianism from this man. So now, as we began chatting, because this man is mostly specialized into rituals. He sells rituals, he sells pacts. When you want to sign a pact with the devil, when you want to sign a pact with an entity. So this is how I came into contact with this man. So when I came into contact with Damien, his name is Victor Damien. So as I came into this conversation with this man, we started talking, and when we started talking, he started now telling me rituals. He started giving me rituals, what I needed to do, and the times. A ritual is actually something that ushers you into the spiritual realm, something that rushes you to an entity. You understand? So when you do a ritual, mostly it is ushering you, it is connecting you to a realm, a spiritual realm, a demonic realm. So this was something which this man started introducing me. So he would send me the requirements, because each ritual has got its own requirement. There are different requirements, different candles, different type of perfumes that are supposed to be used in any ritual. So we got communicating, and he started teaching me things. First of all, I had to understand everything that this man was telling me. So now, we could communicate. He gives me this, I try it out. Yeah, at that time, nothing was making sense, because I didn't have the access to the spirit. Nothing was making sense. I didn't have that access. So now, as we continued moving, I was so committed to this, because I really needed this spirit with me. I really needed this spirit of prophecy. I really needed to be ushered into the spiritual realm. I really needed this thing. So now, what I did from there now, there's a guy called Martin. There's a guy called Martin and a guy called Daniela, because this guy had formed a WhatsApp group where we belonged into that group. So there was a lady by the name of Daniela and a guy called Martin. So me and Martin now, we started communicating, you understand. We would go through the rituals. Where I don't understand, I ask him. Where I don't know anything, I would ask from this man. So now we reached at a point where this guy saw the zeal that was in me, the evil zeal that was in me. Martin said, no, I think there's a guy with your way how you are moving with this level. There's a guy I would introduce you to. So now he talked of introducing me to some guy. Okay, he talked of introducing me to some guy. So the guy who he introduced me now, this is Diego. Diego, he calls himself the incarnate of the devil. He calls himself the incarnate of the devil. You know, I was so amazed with the knowledge that Diego had, because Diego had to give me different now knowledge, you know, where this other guy left me, Diego now picked it from there. He ushered now the higher rituals into me. Diego ushered the higher rituals into me. So now, I started practicing these things. What was left with me, I spent time, because incantations were sent to me. A lot of materials were sent to me. So each time I had my earphones, I would hear these incantations and recite after them, one after the other. A number of these things are the things that you hear in church as tongues, the so-called tongues. Most of these tongues are demonic tongues. So most of these tongues are demonic tongues. Actually, these your pastors are calling onto entities, are calling onto spirits from the higher realm, spirits from the evil realm to come and aid them in anything that they do. So now I started doing these things. So some of the rituals now, they involved going to the grave. Some of the rituals involved going to the river, depending on what you want to achieve. Now, I want to explain something here. When we talk about the spiritual realm, we hear mostly we would hear these prophets, these so-called false prophets. They like mentioning something like in the realm of the spirit. When we talk about the realm of the spirit, this is an open spiritual space where now you need authority. What matters is who authorizes you to go into this spiritual realm. When we talk about the spiritual realm, you remember the Bible in the book of Hebrews chapter 11 verse 3. It says that everything we see was created from what we cannot see. You can never see the physical, the spiritual realm using the physical eyes. You need spiritual eyes. You need spiritual authority for you to enter into the spiritual realm. So these rituals were now meant to usher me into the spiritual realm, where now I start operating not as a normal human being, but as someone now who is operating with the aid of the spirit. So it involved going to the graves. When we want to achieve healing, healing is done in the grave. When you want to achieve, no matter what you want to achieve, if maybe someone needs a pact of meeting the devil, there are a number of things that you need to do, a number of rituals that you need to do. So I was introduced to books. One of the books is the Satanic Bible. The other book is the 6th and 7th book of Moses. Then we talk about the Guesha. We talk about the Lesser Key of Solomon. Then we talk about the Key of Solomon. There are a lot of books. All these books are under demonology. They are called demonology. Now you are learning demonology. When we talk about the Guesha, this is initially the book of evil spirits, where you need to learn about these spirits. You need to learn about their requirements. Each spirit has got its own requirement. They don't have the same requirement. So these prophets, these so-called false prophets, they behave in different characterism depending on the spirit they are affiliated to. When you look at their style, it will tell you the spirit behind everything that they are doing. So now I became a false prophet. What I now didn't have was a platform. So when you go to the grave, they would require candles, black candles to be specific, and you need to have a gown or a hood which is black. And you must have certain perfumes and certain beers that you're supposed to do in the rituals that you want to do. Now, what is the essence of going into the grave? You are literally opening a portal. A grave is a portal. What do we mean when we talk about portal? A portal is a gateway to the spiritual world. A portal is a gateway. So now you need to have this recipe. You need to have these codes. These spiritual codes for you to open a portal. As you speak these languages, as you are communicating, you've met everything which is needed. Now you need to speak these words. Literally what you are doing, you are accessing access to the spirit that you are initiated to. The spirit that is connected to you is the one that is giving you this access. Remember, the Bible says that everything came through the word. Everything that we see. There's nothing that was created without the word. So the devil uses words. Don't make a mistake, child of God, even as you are doing these declarations in church. You are busy declaring, receiving what you don't understand. Most of these things are incantations, opening a doorway to the enemy. So there are a lot of rituals that were done depending on what you want to achieve. There's no specific ritual. There are different types of rituals that are done. So now once you do that specific ritual, wherever the portal you are using, it be the river or you are doing the water, the portal would open and you would have a response from the spiritual realm. You would have a response from the realm that you are connecting to. You present your problems. You present your problems. Then from there now, we used to go to the river. You know, to the river there are a number of things. There are a number of prayers that you do through the river. This is why you'd find most of these false prophets, they use the river most of the time. So through the river now, there are a lot of things that we used to do there. Once you do the incantation in the river, you do the summoning. You call upon the spirit first of all. Then when the spirit shows up, then you enter into the water. When you enter into the water, before you present anything, you need to have a response from the realm that you are calling upon. So a serpent would come and coil the legs. As it coils the leg, then you know that I am now connected into the realm. Then I will present whatever I want to present. Maybe it is Thanksgiving. I want to thank them for the healing. Maybe I want to thank them for the water, because we used to get water from the river to take into churches. To take into churches, maybe for crowd growing. If we need to grow crowds in church, if we want people to come, maybe if we need healing to be taking place, what you want to achieve, then they've given you. So you need to go now to report to the river. You report to the river or to the grave. So these are some of the rituals that are involved. A lot is involved in the art of prophecy. So now, what did I achieve from all this? What do I achieve from all this? I achieved one, manipulation. Manipulation is what I achieved. I would read the mind of a person. There's what we call telepath. Without you talking to me, just me looking at you, I will read your mind and understand who you are, understand everything. And this is what most of these prophets use. They use mind reading. There's no prophecy involved here. This is all witchcraft, all magic happening. I will read your mind. I will manipulate you. I can put my thoughts into your mind. Well, once I do this, then I'm manipulating you. I'm achieving what I want. I'm the one who is benefiting in all this art. I'm the one who is benefiting in everything that I'm doing here. So that is part of the things that were achieved. A lot of things now. I started now gathering pastors. I started gathering pastors with me that I would teach what they need to do in their churches. There are a number of pastors that have gotten powers from me. A number of pastors that have given this art. Because now I spent time. This is not something that I learned within a day or within 2 days or a week or a month. No. I spent time, years, learning this art. And now I perfected it, and I got pastors that I started recruiting using this same system of Luciferianism. Now I achieved this, and now my system was different from what these African pastors are using, because my system was advanced. Most of these, they would use juju, they would use these other things, but I was using spirits of the dead. Necromancy, what we call necromancy. I was using necromancy. So through necromancy now, this is consulting the dead, using a human spirit to access the human mind, to access things of man. So I became a master, and I became now a spiritual father to a number of pastors that I started now training in this Luciferianism, something that I learned. I was now initiated, and I was initiating them. So anyone who is connected to such pastors, you are equally being initiated. It's not only him who is initiated, the pastor, but even you who are ignorantly following him, you are undergoing initiation. And you need to seek the Lord. You need to seek deliverance. Repent from those things. They are evil. There is nothing godly about anything that is happening. All the nasty things that are happening are not from God.